getting pads, actually get after it?
And it was amazing. Being back on the field, having the smell of the grass. It rained today, so we weren't able to practice outside, but just practicing inside and being able to get a little click-clack, that really got my blood boiling.
When you look to your left and you look to your right, the defensive lineman, you're lining up. What's the first takeaway you have of that bunch?
I'm scared for that. Whatever offensive line has to line up against us. And I say that with the most confidence in the world.
It seemed like everybody was ready to go before that first drill. Coach Norvell was jumping around, everybody. What was that moment like to get it going?
It was, just having the type guys that I have in my room. A lot of energetic guys in the defensive line room. So, it's really easy to get that blood flow and then just to get that same energy amongst the whole team, including the head coach. That just intensified it to another level.
You're starting to feel bad as well for defensive lines of other teams too because of what your offensive line?
Our offensive line is, just because iron is sharpening iron. Coach, he set out on a mission from day one when he first got here to fill that room and to fill our room. And as you see, you see the proof is in the pudding.
Who are some of those guys who have stood out to you so far on the offensive side?
Jeremiah from UTEP, Keandre Jones, Armella, a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys as well. Bless Harris, he's always been a good guy, great feet. Darius Washington, those guys they've been good yearly. So, those new guys are just called. They're doing good themselves too.
What is it about Byers that led to him being the first name that brought up?
Jeremiah has really good feet. His feet are extremely quick. We talked about him leaning some, but just how quick his feet are. Like you really don't see that from a guy 345, 335.
I know Coach Norvell talked before spring about kind of like when you look at championship teams, they have that deep rotation of guys they play, especially on the defensive line. I guess what's that do for you? In terms of how much more effort you can give, knowing you may not play as many reps, it's going to be more rotational.
It just helps me. It intensifies the competitive nature of me. You know that you can't go out there on the field half-stepping because your brother in battle might come out there and just go out there and go ham over you. So, that just intensifies my competitive nature, just to be better every day at practice, be better in the game as well. So.
What do you feel best about in your game now versus last fall? What have you improved on?
I've gained 10 pounds. Just honestly putting it all together this year. Last 2 years, you guys have seen me. I feel like a lot of rough edges, and so this season, what you all expect to see should be smoothness in my game, smoothing out every rough edge in my game.
Well, how much were you during his consideration process talking to Jared, maybe trying to convince him to come back? And what do you think a second year could do for him? Me and Fabian are in his year daily. We talk to him all the time. Jared was extremely raw, but also extremely good for us last year. So he knew what he had to come back and work on. We talked about it. We contemplated on it, and so he just decided to come back to play beside me and Fabian this season as well.
So how do you handle the week break? It's kind of strange. Like you acclimation, one pad practice, a week off. What do you do during that week?
Just enjoy yourself. It's spring break. Enjoy yourself, but also throw in the little pieces of work. Going to train, going to get a little fine tuning in my game, hands, little get offs, little stretching. So the small areas like that.
Notice that Jermaine is still around the program and he's been here for a while. Coach Norvell said this whole week, giving instruction at times. What's that like to see somebody who they've made it to the next step, they've made their money, but they still decide to come back?
Facts. Jermaine, just having brothers like that, older brothers like that, that's outstanding. I told you guys before, I've had 2 sets of defensive ends who have gone to the NFL before me and Jared. So just honestly having that type of information, it takes my game to another level.